Hi, this is Martin Drummond with Progressive News. It's Monday, June 24th, 2019.
Extremely conservative. He takes corporate money, and he doesn't represent the people of that district who, as you said, are incredibly progressive. So let me ask you this. There is a lot of candidates running in 2020. What sets you apart from other progressives? What are some key policy issues that you really will go into Congress fighting for, guns blazing?
Well, some of our biggest policy issues, I guess we have a lot of them, because we are pushing the Overton window with almost every issue. When it comes to marijuana, we don't just believe in legalizing it. We don't just believe in, expunging the records of people who have been convicted of marijuana offenses. We also believe in paying reparations to people who have spent years or sometimes decades of their lives in prison. And that is so important to us because, stealing lives from people. That is, relationships ruined.
Yeah, that's not enough, buddy. Look, I can see, and you know what? Before I get into this about the marijuana thing, I want to say something. Why is everybody, no matter how new and how good, how much better? I mean, progressives are so much better, right? I mean, just on the face of what they want to do. But I'm so afraid that this is going to turn into meet the new boss, same as the old boss, right? I mean, first of all, why do they all look alike? I mean, I look different from all these guys that are putting their face on TV, our new TV, the internet, where people like us who don't want to listen to the bullshit. But if you watch MSNBC, CNN, or you watch progressive talks, shows like this now, they all look alike, right? I mean, they're all within certain parameters, I don't look that different from them, but I do look different from them. It's like the same old genetic model is pushing itself as the leadership. Doesn't matter how great the, latest, greatest, newest movement is. You have to fit within the parameters. You have to look the part, right? And no long hair. Nobody, Lee Camp is the only one I know who will wear his hair long. And that's disgusting to me, because I think men look better with long hair. And I think it's just a taboo. I mean, look at this guy. He looks like a fucking squarehead. And I hate to tell you this, Mike, but you're looking pretty square yourself. And, you're the new in thing. It's like we're trying to make being gay in. What, everybody's going to be gay now on TV? There's a vast majority of people out there are straight. I hate to tell you this. Okay, now the thing about marijuana, right? Aside from what I'm, he's not getting to the crux of the problem, right? The crux. But really, it is the crux, because it's just like my conviction for terroristic threatening. It's not enough. I mean, I could go to, what do they call it, the court where you just try and get money out of people. And I could probably win, But what they did was criminal. what they did by putting people in jail for a joint or a ball of heroin or something else, what they did to those people, putting them in jail, and everybody who went to jail is going to have a different result, right? Some of them die in jail, and basically it becomes a murder charge at that point. Some of them suffer irreparable mental damage. Some of them are raped when they're in jail. There's all kinds of things that happen to people in jail, and the people who put them in there should be held criminally liable. I mean, this guy's thinks he's got something, he's saying this sets him apart, that he wants reparations for those people. Fuck that, man. Let's start. Politicians should be, progressive politicians should be bound and determined to hold all people accountable. So I say we make a law that says if you're on a jury and you throw somebody in jail, say you were one of the guys or girls who threw one of the, I forget what they're called, the 5 guys that were thrown in jail for murder and rape or whatever it was, and then it turned out they were all innocent. Well, there was no evidence against them. As a matter of fact, I think 90% of the people thrown in jail have no evidence against them. Now, I'm sorry if it turns out that there's people who are going to get out on the street again, and maybe commit a murder or do something heinous. But the fact is that's a price that we as people have to be willing to pay. Now, the way to solve that problem is to simply change the way we take care of people, because 90% of those people, probably 99% of them, are doing what they're doing not because they're crazy. There's always going to be the crazies, right? But that's a tiny amount. The rest of the people who are committing crimes are committing crimes because of the way we run our communities. We run our communities in a way that's so unfair to so many people. Now, they threw me in jail for saying this, and I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to say it again. That because they shouldn't have been allowed to throw me in jail for this. All I said was that what people are doing, like all kinds of people are doing it, whether it's your boss or the guy you're going to at the food stamp place, which was my case. The people at the food stamp place were being fucking dicks, I mean, they were trying to humiliate me. They were trying to just scare me, trying to make me think that I wasn't going to get food stamps that month. And I'll tell you this, I've told you this a million times, it's not what they're threatening to do to you that makes you so angry that you want to kill somebody. Okay? I mean, you get so angry in that moment that you just want to kill somebody, I mean, you even might think about killing people because you know what? That's a natural instinct. That's what sets us aside from the people who did not survive, It's a part of our animalistic past, and I don't believe anybody has a choice, because they're always going to mull over all of the options. I mean, when you listen to Trump on TV, you hear him say, oh, well, war is still on the table. That's murder. That's massive murder in his case. I mean, attacking Syria, attacking Iran, which we haven't done, attacking Iraq, All those things have been murder. I mean, we had no excuse to kill 1 million people, and you're going to complain because I admit that I feel that way, feel like, I keep myself under control. These people don't. So my point here is that people are throwing other people in jail for things that, like in my case, they threw me in jail just for admitting that I feel like killing somebody, because all I was doing was trying to describe my anger. And why was I trying to describe my anger? Because I was trying to explain to people how what they're doing down at the food stamp place is making people so angry. I wasn't even talking about me. I was just using my anger as an example. And I was saying that, somebody's going to go in and shoot somebody or blow the place up, right? Well, it turns out that what I was talking about is a completely legitimate concern, because people are going into the food stamp place and shooting people, and I don't know, I haven't ever heard of a bomb going off, but the fact is that the guy who made the filed the charges against me said that he got his job after a guy killed one of the guys who interviews people, who, by the way, the last time I went in to get my food stamps and was interviewed, I did feel like killing the guy. I mean, I said to the guy on the way out, because they walk you out whether you're a problem or not. I wasn't a problem, but on the way out, I said to him, I said, I worked in this town for 23 years, harder than anybody you'll know, and this is how I'm treated. They're just awful. And it used to be you'd go in there and they were so nice, and then we got this new Republican governor, and all of a sudden it's all guys. It went from being almost all girls who interviewed people, which, I don't know, girls just seem to be nicer and they don't question everything and they don't act like you're a criminal and all these things, right? That just infuriate you. Because it's not, like I was about to say before, it's not so much what they do to you as why are they doing it? Why do they dislike you so much? Why do they, so they're doing it because they want to fuck with you, right? And that's what's infuriating. That's what makes you feel so angry you want to kill somebody. Because, I mean, in the end, if they were allowed to get away with what they're trying to get away with, or what they're playing with, right? They're playing with the idea of denying you food stamps. So they mess with you in different ways. They say, well, you haven't answered the question properly. You say, well, what do you need from me? And they go, I don't know. What the fuck is that all about? Okay, so they threw me in jail. Okay, so the same thing goes for me. I was thrown in jail for something I didn't do. I didn't threaten to blow the place up. I was just having a discussion. It wasn't even with them. I was talking to my car cam, just like I'm talking to the recording here. So they threw me in jail, and you know what? Yes, I deserve money to repay me for the insult that they did, 3 months in jail, and everybody involved should be criminally charged. See, that's what I'm saying is wrong with this guy's, besides the fact that this baby-faced little motherfucker is wanting to run things, I'm sorry, but man, give me some real people. Give me some people who look like the people I see when I'm walking around in the shopping, grocery store and the shopping centers. Give me normal people. I don't know what's wrong with the media, and now it's the internet. The internet that we've it's the only thing that saved us. If it wasn't for the internet, we wouldn't be here with a progressive movement. The internet is what discovered Bernie and put him out there in 2016. Otherwise it would have just been Hillary from the beginning until the end, and then whether she would have won or not, I don't know, but I don't think so. But let's say that she did. That would have been the end of the progressive movement if it ever even got started. So the internet's responsible for this stuff, and I hate to see it go down the drain to all these people, all these lookalikes, all these people. They're all one person, and they'll all get rich and go on to do what they want and say that they're out to help everybody, and in the end we'll say, well, guess what? They weren't. No. We need normal people, not this small group of people who are self-declared beautiful, right? I don't know. I mean, maybe we should just say we're done with them, right? That's what happened in 2014, 15, 16, is we were forced. All these people, Hillary Clinton was pushed in our face. Nobody was even running against her. We've had like 30 people run against Bernie. Bernie's a relatively normal looking guy. This is kind of a geeky, kind of goofy kind of guy who's incredible, right? Because he cares about everybody but himself. Just, it's obvious that he spent his life growing up thinking, I'm fine. I'm not going to worry about myself. And that's something important too. All of you people who support establishment Democrats and Republicans, you do that because you're worried about yourself. You're fine. Nothing's happening to you. Nothing bad's happening to you. Your demographic isn't suffering unnecessarily. Stop worrying about yourself. So I say fuck that, reparations. Everybody wants a handout. No, what I want is justice. Man, I want justice. I want to see jurors, when they stand up there and say, we find you guilty and send you 3 months in jail, I want them to have to think about the fact that if they're just being little bitches, as I like to say, if they're being assholes, then I'd like to see them have to think about that. I'd like to see how, they know that several other jurors have spent time in jail for putting other people in jail for something they didn't do, for putting people in jail for smoking marijuana. So now I'm not saying we go backwards, like he's talking about going backwards. No, you start from whenever you start. So we pass this law and jurors will know. Oh, and I'm not saying you don't let people out of jail for smoking pot and doing drugs. Yeah, you let everybody out of jail, and should some of them get some kind of should the people who put them in jail go to jail? Should they get fined and what have you? Okay, so maybe I say do go back. So anyway, but the biggest point of this, yeah, maybe you can't go back and find people and throw them in jail for the things they've done, but for sure every jury that comes on afterwards, and yeah, I think you should have to do jury duty. And when you're up there, you should have to say, oh my God, you know, there's no evidence against this guy. If I throw him in jail or put him in the electric chair or now lethal injection, I could end up being executed, right? You should have to think about that. Yes, we have to have people for jury duty. I mean, unless you're just going to hand it over to the judges, which I say fine if that's what you want to do. But either way, everybody's responsible for what they do. I can tell you right now that if there wasn't hard evidence, if I wasn't absolutely sure that somebody committed a murder, I would not find them guilty and have them executed. But other people might, if they're given carte blanche like they are now. They're given a blank check. They're allowed to, jurors are told that, you know, this can never come back on you. Well, bullshit, man. Nothing you do in this world, if you do bad things, you should be held accountable, you know? And I'm not talking about, oh, I think what you did is bad. No. If you actually do bad things, and if you get caught and there's enough evidence against you to actually convict you of doing what you're charged with, and, you know, the 12 people on a jury decide, and in my case it was 6, but decide that you're guilty, then those you should get what you deserve, and those jurors should have to think about the fact that they're accountable too. Because, man, that's the problem with the jury system, no accountability. I mean, if these people don't think that, I mean, it's like telling somebody, a racist, well, you can go murder black people and we don't care. We're not gonna find you guilty ever of anything. We're gonna let you do it scot-free. That's what the current jury system, that's how it works. Matter of fact, that's how stupid it is. They actually say that that's what makes it work, because juries should be allowed to, you know, make their decisions without fear. Fuck that, man. You should be afraid. You should be afraid of putting somebody in jail for life for something they didn't do, of executing somebody for something they didn't do. You telling me that a person shouldn't be worried about doing that? That's like telling me somebody who murdered somebody shouldn't have to worry about the repercussions. Yeah. This is Martin Drummond for Progressive News. Thanks for listening.